Hello everyone, this is Rick and I welcome you to this channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to make Mexican sweet pastries known as polvorones. I like the word polvorones. Here I have all the ingredients we'll be using for this delicious pastry. We need 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1, 2, 4. I'm going to make a little volcano or crater here to make it easier to mix the ingredients. We need 3 eggs, we need 1 cup of sugar, we need 2 tablespoons of baking powder. We're also going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla. You could use more or less depending on your preference. It smells delicious. The last ingredient will be lard. You can use vegetable oil or even butter, but I'm using lard, which is the traditional recipe. I left the lard at the end on purpose because I'm trying to keep everything organized and clean. I only want to use 1 measuring cup and not multiple. And so I didn't want to contaminate the dried ingredients with wet, or in this case, lard. Anyways, we need 1 cup of lard. It might sound like a lot, but trust me, it is not. This should do. No, let me add a little more. It's hard to measure lard on a cup. The recipe calls for grams, and I use a calculator to convert grams to cups, and it came up to 1 cup. Okay, so let's add the cup of lard and prepare to start the mixing. I've been cleaning the table and washing my hands over and over again, so I know they are clean. I'm not using a mixer. I'm doing this old school by hand. Start by massaging the lard and eggs together. Feels a little weird at first, but you get used to it, and it's also a good moisturizer. I'm going to use both hands. Some experienced bakers use 1 hand only, so that with the dry hand they can grab utensils or other ingredients they might need without making a mess. That's pretty smart, but I already have all my ingredients, so I don't need to do that. So I'm using both hands. Speaking about other people and their techniques, I want to thank sincerely and honestly the other bakers I'm learning from their YouTube videos. They're like artists. These people are like true professional artist. There's three people particularly that I'm learning from. I mean, there are many, but these guys are like professionals. Sergio Lopez from Panadería Paso a Paso, which means in Spanish, baking step by step, or bakery step by step. Julio Tapia is another really cool dude who helps people make bread for their small business so they can sell it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Martin Moreno is another baker. He's awesome. He's very, very thorough and amazing. I am really humbled by their knowledge. Again, thank you guys, and I send you a big hug from Anaheim, California. So back to baking. What I'm trying to do right now is make sure all the sugar is dissolved before I incorporate the flour. A silky and smooth mixture because I want to make sure all the mixing is properly done and all the ingredients come together beautifully. So now we start adding the flour into the mixture little by little, slow and patiently. Be careful in this step because the flour is light in weight, and if you go too aggressive or too fast or too strong, your whole kitchen will be covered in white dust, and it's not pleasant. Take your time, be patient, and enjoy the process. I actually like baking in general. There is something therapeutic about it, I suppose. It relaxes me like a lot. I like it. All right, you know what I would like to add that's not in the recipe? A little food coloring. Yellow, preferably, but oh my god, it smells delicious already. I'm going to add the food coloring. I really should have done it early on because the dough is solid at this point. It's a lot harder for the food coloring to mix properly. In this case though, it's a good thing because it makes me work the dough a lot more in trying to mix the food coloring, which it needs it. Okay, so I brought back the flour for a reason. Let me explain. If you don't dust the surface of your counter with flour, your mixture gets stuck and it's practically impossible to work. I should have added flour to my surface a while ago. I'll dust the counter now with flour so you can see how much easier it gets. Not only is it easier to work and it won't stick to the surface, but it gives the dough a better consistency and body, I suppose. I really don't know the terminology or lingo the bakers use. I'm just kidding. I was doing that noise. It was not the fast forward thing, but I don't know. I just want to play a little prank on you. Okay, it looks like it's ready. I usually grease and dust my trays, but this time I'm only going to use wax paper. One of the reasons I'm not gonna grease my trays is because the dough already contains lard, so it won't stick. So how are we going to arrange this in order to bake it? There are a few approaches. I will show you the three. They are all acceptable. Doesn't really matter, but one way is for a cylinder shape, so you can cut round pieces or round slices. As I saw in Mr. Lopez's channel. I'm gonna do this whole tray using that technique. And I thought it was pretty easy. I mean, I tried cutting it with the spatula, but on that shape it's kind of hard, so I switched to a knife. The only problem with cutting it with a knife is that the face of the cookie will not be as cracked as it's supposed to be, but it still works. For the second tray, we're going to use the traditional approach, which is making golf-size balls. This is a technique I learned from Martin Moreno in his channel. So the size is really a matter of preference. If you're going to sell them though, you want to be consistent, or as consistent as possible. If it's just for your family, you can even use cookie cutters or however you want to do it. Julio Tapia, the other professional baker, uses a brick approach. So I'll try to do that. What he does, he makes a brick that will give you slices about 3 by 4 inches. I've always wondered, how do bakers get the pastries to be so delicious and beautiful? Well, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to cut them with the spatula to get that cracking effect I was talking about earlier. Wait until you see the end result. You're going to be amazed. So I only have these two tiny trays, which are usually enough, but I need to get a bigger tray if I want to be able to make larger quantities, and I wouldn't need two separate trays in this case. We're gonna bake these practically the way they are. If anything, I will pour some sugar on top, a dot, if you will. That's how I seen Martin Moreno do it. On the ball-shaped ones, I will make a little design. I was actually looking for a glass soda bottle, which is what I traditionally use, or what it's used traditionally, but I only have this one and I thought it would look interesting. So just press hard, make sure you dip it on flour so it doesn't get stuck to the dough. Like I said before, traditionally, let's use a glass bottle because it has some nice little design underneath. But I'll just use the plastic cup this time instead. Besides the plastic soda bottle, that is. Same thing here, flour the bottom and press down hard. See this shape? That's how they sell it in the bakeries. They're ready to go to the oven. The only thing that will make them better at this point is this. Poke a small indentation in the middle of the pastry like so. I'm going to put a little bit of strawberry jam or chocolate or custard, anything you want to really. I'm going to use strawberry jelly. Before I use the strawberry, I want to cover them with sugar. It's a crucial part of the recipe. I'm supposed to be able to lift them and place them face down on the sugar plate, but they are kind of thin in the middle because of the bottle design, so I bring the sugar to them. Now I will add the strawberry jelly or whatever you have. Just a tiny bit goes a long way. Preheat the oven at 340 and bake for 20 minutes. Alright, here we go. Don't forget, 20 minutes. Let's see what they look like before I close the oven. Look at that. That is beautiful.
Twenty minutes later.
Here we go, guys. This is the end result. They did expand a little bit. This is why they're kind of overlapping one another. They smell delicious. They look beautiful, and I bet they taste even better than what they smell and look. A little toasted from the bottom, which is normal. It's supposed to be that way, in fact. It's perfect baking. If this was pasta, I will call it al dente. Alright, we're back. They cooled down and look at this beautiful plate full of deliciousness. Look at the close-up. Trust me, they are delicious. I already tasted one. You can taste one too, or many. But before tasting, you have to make them. So on your marks, get set, get started. I want to thank you for watching this video. I send you blessings, good vibes, good luck, and prosperity. And remember, stay hungry, my friends, and ABC. Always be cooking.